Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In this video, I've got a piece, and this is a pretty cool headline. UN agency cites XRP and report on financial inclusion. I also want to talk to you a little bit about technological adoption, let's say, and how some people really don't get the big picture, even when it seems to be staring them in the face. And then I'll close the video out with a piece. There's a guy named Mark Mobius. His opinion is buy gold as Bitcoin goes up. So I'll share with you thoughts on that. Now, before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, let's be friends. All right, so let's dig into this first piece. UN agency cites XRP in report on financial inclusion. A 2019 report from the United Nations Universal Postal Union has surfaced, citing the potential adoption of crypto assets like XRP. The agency, which coordinates postal policies among member nations, highlights the increasing digitization of postal services around the world and how digital assets can lower costs for consumers. And here's a quote now. Keeping pace with recent innovations, the UPU is examining the role that distributed ledger technology, DLT, blockchain, and cryptocurrencies can play in the postal industry, as well as the role of the UPU and its members in enabling efficient delivery of services. We find that there are already some examples of posts around the world leveraging or experimenting with DLT to provide financial and logistics services. The report references an internal study showing that 90% of post offices around the world offer some form of financial service, targeting groups that are typically excluded from the formal financial system, and highlights XRP as a cryptocurrency that could power instant and low-cost remittances. Oh yes, indeed, boys and girls, that it can do. Fractions of a penny with every single transaction. You can't beat that with a stick, and that's partly because XRP is intangible. All right, and there's a quote here. With the success and uptake of these products, the Post could explore alternatives such as cryptocurrency-based money transfers. The Post, leveraging its extensive network of physical outlets, can play the role of cash merchant by exchanging cryptocurrency for fiat currency for its customers. As shown in Figure 1 below, a beneficiary, person B, receives cryptocurrency, and then parentheses it states, we use Ripple XRP as an example, from person A nearly instantaneously. Person B then goes to the nearest post office where he or she is given local fiat currency at the spot rate in cash, or as a transfer to their post bank account. This reduces transaction time and cost, though the use of cryptocurrency where transfers through the XRP network are near instantaneous. The ability to transact at the nearest post office, often in rural locations, also reduces the opportunity cost for person B. And so they're recognizing the changing world and seeking out opportunity. How about that? Some people actually are embracing new technology. Some do. They do here. They're thinking about it. They're talking about it. The report analyzes the volatile and speculative nature of crypto assets as a potential hurdle to their mass adoption as a medium of exchange, while also pointing to a role the UPU could play in the global adoption of the new technology. And here's another quote. Through their presence in rural communities and peri-urban areas, and by leveraging their existing financial literacy programs, Posts could help make communities and individuals aware of the uses of cryptocurrencies, mechanisms to do so, and the advantages of using digital currencies over paper-based currency, thereby increasing uptake and adoption across a wide segment of the population. That's the best thing that they said in this report, probably, is to get people off of stupid paper money. I just ranted about that in the last video. So I hate paper money, and I hate metallic currency even more, aka coins. They're stupid. All right. I think that's cool stuff, though. So people are going to get it, and it's fascinating to see how different types of entities are responding to the well, it's honestly a technological revolution here is what we're talking about. And in particular, and Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, has brought this up in the past. He says, of course, in many instances, it just makes sense to use a database rather than blockchain technology. So he thinks that there is a lot of overhyping within the space, but he also said, if you are a middleman in something you better thoroughly analyze your role to see how blockchain could, perhaps, disrupt you, because blockchain is all about decentralization. Wise words from Brad Garlinghouse. All right, check this out. This is a tweet from @XRP Captain. I like this. And there's a tweet of this is so stupid. This is real though. There's a article. Basically, what he retweeted is an article, and it states computer. This is from 1983. Computers may be novel, but skeptics are finding them impractical in the home. And then this title here is home computer destined for closet. Again, it's so laughable now in 2019. We have freaking computers not just in our homes, but in our pockets. They're called cell phones, but, whatever. They are computers. And that's why it was kind of funny for me, in segueing from the last story about the UN agency who sees a future utilizing cryptocurrency. So that was forward-thinking. Some people are not exactly forward-thinking. And so I'm using this. It's a fun little thing to just kind of laugh about now that we're here in the future, because it literally right here, let me read this little part. It says, personal computers today don't do much that makes life easier, life at home easier, cheaper, or better. And so even if that were true in the moment, they couldn't see the big picture. And it makes me think about cryptocurrencies, because right now cryptocurrencies don't do a whole lot, but infrastructure, in fact, is being built out. And because businesses can run atop blockchains that have native digital assets such as XRP, that makes these new types of business models possible, completely impossible without this technology. Of course, there should and will be a market price associated with native digital assets. In this case, the one I'm thinking about, and you're thinking about, XRP, the native digital asset of the XRP ledger. And so there you go. I know, it is kind of funny to laugh at this stuff. This is one sweet-looking computer, though. You should take a look if you're not driving. But if you are driving, hands on the wheel, motorist. 10 and 2. But that's one sweet-looking computer, isn't it? Kind of want one. All right, next piece here. This is from Cointelegraph. Mark Mobius. Buy gold as Bitcoin price rises. Central banks cut rates. Veteran frontier markets investor Mark Mobius suggested that cryptocurrencies will boost the price of gold. Canadian finance news outlet BNN Bloomberg interviewed Mark Mobius on August 20th. The legendary investor believes cryptocurrencies will help the rise of gold. He explained, here's a quote now, "You have all these currencies, new currencies coming into play. I call them psychocurrencies, because it's a matter of faith whether you believe in Bitcoin or any of the other cyber currencies." Cyber currencies, Jesus, this is from the 80s? Anyway, I think with the rise of that, there's going to be a demand for real hard assets, and that includes gold. Okay, fair enough, and I'm going to read a little bit more on this, but, it's funny to me, people that have opinions like that, when they word stuff like that, the only use case that they're aware of for cryptocurrencies is as a replacement for fiat currency, and that's why a lot of people have these opinions. You can do so much more for them, and that's why they should and do have values, and that's why I believe they will dramatically go up anyway. And so, man, some people just need to do some more research before having nothing against this guy at all. I hadn't even heard of him before, but I just feel like some people need to do some more research before forming hard opinions. Anyway, he also explained that he is deeply convinced that recent changes in monetary policy will assist gold's rise. Mobius said, "Gold's long-term prospect is up, up, and up. And the reason why I say that is money supply is up, up, and up. I think you have to be buying at any level, frankly." Today, gold is at a 6-year high, as the likelihood that the Federal Reserve and other central banks will continue easing their monetary policy becomes even greater. The aim of such maneuvers would be to support growth, which has been impacted by the prolonged trade war between the United States and China. Furthermore, as the United States Treasury market signals that a recession is probably coming, investors are looking at gold as a hedge. Mobius recommended allocating at least 10% of one's portfolio into bullion. He also expects that central banks to continue expanding the money supply and lowering interest rates. According to dedicated website Gold Price, gold is currently trading at $1,503, up about 15.5% since the start of the current year. By comparison, Bitcoin is up over 300% in 2019. As Cointelegraph reported at the end of July, Morgan Creek Digital Assets co-founder Anthony Pompliano says the European Central Bank's expected dovish turn will provide rocket fuel for Bitcoin. And look, guys, I have nothing against yellow rocks. Gold's perfectly fine. I'm all about asset diversification. But the only time I have a problem with people is when they're all about asset diversification, except for the fastest growing asset class on the planet, which is cryptocurrency asset class. Oh, all of them are great. Be diversified, but not that dangerous, sketchy cryptocurrency stuff that's going to go all to zero, right? That I cannot get behind, because I believe, as does Anthony Pompliano, even though he's a Bitcoin maximalist, I believe that the crypto asset class will by far outpace the growth of the S&P 500 in the coming decade. What do you think? Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!